All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So we've got a good viewer request group here. We're going to look at MVIS, MVIS. FSR is fisker, I think. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's for sure FSR that we're looking at. And then AQST. I promised a couple people I would cover that one today. So look, starting with MVIS right here, I think a very, very important day, less on this chart and way more on NASDAQ. So I will for sure flash the NASDAQ. There was someone that had mentioned looking at the Russell is important for MVIS. I think I didn't do it on the last one, but I wrote a note here for myself to make sure we at least look at the Russell as well to see if we can pull anything from that. FSR, so FSR, someone had mentioned it on a YouTube video comment, and yeah, I'm not seeing it. I get why it looked like it might do something, but you know I always stress we care more about a single day. We want confirmation, right? So I think that's a really good example for that one. And then AQST, look, today wasn't a monster day, but it was a technically sound day, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm still expecting more, you know what I mean? So I'm really excited to cover these ones, but before we go any further, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We're going to take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do helps me so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here, giving me your time is so appreciated, and for real, sharing it actually does the best thing because I am not that good at that, all right? So let's get into MVIS, all right, Microvision. So a couple things coming off the last video. So one thing I asked was, hey, when is earnings? It sounds like there is no earnings expected in this month, right? I don't think there's anything planned for the next couple of weeks. Maybe we'll see what happens towards February. Hey, it might even come during March, right? Like there's a 3-month window, right? I think 2 good things came from the comments. The first one was, look, though there's no immediate earnings, there was actually a headline where they reassured some guidance. And that's an important thing, right? Because if you're going to reinsure your guidance, that's I care more about the future than the realities of today. That really is what drives the market. It's this, I really think good things are coming down the road. Let me start accumulating, right? And hey, reassurance of guidance is a reason to think, okay, maybe I should start getting some right now before the earnings comes, right? So that's a real solid positive that I forgot, okay? The other thing was, look, you know I always look at NASDAQ only. I need to look at the Russell as well. So again, the goal always is to try to pull info even outside of where your money is, right? Like you might just focus 100% on MVIS and Microvision if that's where your money is, but you gotta remember to look around the auxiliary stuff, right? And for me, one of the big ones, because again, this is a technology sector. This is science and tech. Like this is as close to true tech as you can be. For me, that means NASDAQ composite needs to do well, right? And hey, we did not start the year off strong, but today was a big day. Green, red, man, green on a single. The 2% doesn't look like much. That's a lot for an index. For sure. You know what I mean? So today was a big day, but again, I care more about a single day, but man, that's a monster single day, right? So what does that tell me back on the MVIS chart, right? Look, we actually, I think, held very well for how bad the NASDAQ was doing. Today was the first good NASDAQ day, but lo and behold, we've actually had 3 good candles, including most of last week, actually, right? So I'm seeing a lot of strength in the 8 and the 20. We know this is a stock that knows what to do very well when the 8 and the 20 are its good friends, right? We also know how bad it can be when it's its worst enemy, taking it from 4 to almost 2, under 2, right? So as quickly as we go up 3x, man, we go down horribly, right? I don't want to do the math right there because I'm not going to do it well, right? But you get the point, right? I think that's an 80% drop, 90%, 70% drop, because we're holding. See, look at that. I'm embarrassing myself. Nonetheless, the important thing is, like I said, I'm feeling confident in the two lines right there, right? The other thing I've been talking about is a combination of the 50 and the 100, all right? I know they're very different stocks, but SoundHound is still at the mercy of the 100. All right, the 100's making the line down. Instead of watching the 8 and the 20 keep going up, we're pretty much revolving right there. And you can see the 50's still under it. With MVIS, almost the entire thing is completely different and much better. The 100 is still going down, but we are nowhere near it. I know it's close, right? So maybe saying nowhere near it is a little too cavalier, right? You know, I'm not trying to be fanboy here, right? But yeah, I'm seeing us go away from it. I see a nice golden cross where the lower one goes over the bigger one. More than anything, the 50 should come into play and help it, hopefully before the 100 comes into play, right? Hopefully 100 keeps going down. Hopefully this keeps going up. And hey, hopefully we're talking about the 50 bouncing it well before we're wondering if we're back into the 100 oscillation, right? So I like that the 100's going away. I like that we're moving up. I like that the 50 is finally following. And hey, look, the 50 went down, finally kind of started flattening out, and then finally starts going up, right? Is that what we're going to see with the 100? That will be if we keep going up with these lines, right? So there's some things brewing, okay? I'm zooming in for a reason here. I like this volume, but I wish it was a little bit better. All right. Now look, the RSI has been crazy flat. I think you can call this as horizontal as it gets right on the 50, right? So a lot of ways it makes sense that that's staying flat. To me, I just think it's missing volume, right? Because what I'm seeing, look, you can argue that from this day, from the middle of December through today, there's a little bit more buying than selling. I'm definitely seeing more green candles than the red candles, and there's no crazy big red candle that'll offset a bunch, right? Like I'm seeing more people buying, but it's not necessarily making me think people are accumulating. I don't really see it being flipping, right? And it's this weird mix of volumes, and I think the whole story is that line right there. We're not destroying the 50-day average as much as we need to. Again, I joke, right? Like if we're talking about a classroom of students, then we're talking about the average, like the top of the bell curve, not the above average, not the B+, A- student. Like we're talking about the average, and we're missing it a number of days. You know what I mean? So, yeah, even today we're below it, right? So volumes, what's missing? Look, it's all about this 290 line. It has been for so long. I'm okay with some slow and steady here, all right? Because when you're living in this parabolicness, sometimes slow and steady is not a bad thing. You know what I mean? We're hopefully building a foundation. There is a decent uptrend. I don't know if it's really worth drawing or not. Maybe it is actually, but maybe end of the week I'll draw that thing. We'll see. But for me, man, we really need to escape the lines. And again, the last thing I talk about, right? For me, I would much rather escape this and fly. For some people, the move is sell up here, buy down here, sell up here, buy down here, because that's what's been happening for maybe weeks and weeks, right? So depending on how you want to play it, there's a real nice up and down. You can just rinse and repeat. Otherwise, we're waiting for this 920 to break to hopefully take us. 414 makes the most sense. Obviously, this line is here for a reason, but get me over 920, and 414 is just what seems the biggest of the resistances. You know what I mean? Maybe 370 is going to be worth drawing, but again, we'll draw that at another point, right? So I think that's everything. The last thing I did not do is look at the Russell. Let's take a look at the Russell, and look at that, right? Russell is essentially identical to that NASDAQ composite chart. Bunch of downs. Looks like the NASDAQ candle was just a little bit bigger. IWM, not IMW, dyslexic moment right there. Again, this is the Russell 2000 ETF. I'm actually not allowed to see the Russell on this thing, which is a little disappointing. But hey, you know the ETF is pretty close, right? So we're okay with pretty close. Because again, that's essentially equivalent to QQQ. You can see QQQ sitting at 404 is essentially that ETF version of NASDAQ, which is at 14, same little bell curve, right? So to me, NASDAQ, IWM, NASDAQ, and the Russell 2000 are saying the same thing. I don't think there's anything extra to take. Overall, look, if both are able to improve and keep going, that should make it easier to get over that 290 line, all right? Did I look at the weekly? Look, the weekly's riding the 8, but there's a whole mess of, excuse me, a little hiccup there. I mean, look, these aren't quite dojis necessarily, but none of the last, 4-6 weeks, none of the last month and a half has been very definitive. And I mean, that's exactly what we just said on the daily. We've been running exactly parallel, right? Horizontally, going up and down, up and down. So I think that's echoed on the weekly. Like, we need a big definitive move. I'm glad we didn't get one going down while NASDAQ was struggling more, right? So, MVIS, I think those are good thoughts right there. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree. You know I'm not here to hate on your thoughts, all right? Otherwise, good. It was Fisker, FSR. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe, I would much appreciate it, all right? Someone mentioned this in the comments, and this is a very common setup I see right here, all right? This right here is a really big example of why I always stress the 8 and the 20, okay? Because, I mean, you can see a couple things are easy rhymes coming out, right? I often say lose all 5, break all 5 up, and you will fly. Lose all 5 down and you will die. And I mean, we've easily seen that happen, right? And every now and then you will see us go away from the 8 to the 8, 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 continuing. Sometimes we'll maybe get over the 8, but then lo and behold, that 20 slaps us down, right? If you're able to get over once is not enough. And look, 100 million shares that day, 140 million shares, right? You can see 139.8. It's a lot of share, a lot of people bought right here. We need more than a single day. Because what happens, this is what happens, right? This is why we need confirmation. This is why we respect the lines. This is why, I mean, you can call that getting over the 8 a doji never counts, all right? When you have this much uncertainty, where some people thought it was going to go all the way up, some people thought it was going to come back down. We essentially only move 5 cents during the day. That's and again, let me when we click in here, you can see it was a plus 15 day, and I understand that, right? Like, we were down here the day before, lo and behold, we're up here. When I see something open, you can see it in the box over there at 170, and then only go up that much to 175, the top number, that's no. So care more about one day. Gotta respect the lines. Where is this going? This is going deeper and deeper into all-time lows. There is nothing but black hole abyss down here, and it was easy. And again, I don't want to say easy because nothing's guaranteed, nothing's 100%. I am wrong so often, right? Like, but it was easy to know that we were going to come to another 10% day today. I mentioned in the comments that no, we were not ready for this to reverse. We were ready for this to keep going down the all-time low vortex. Why was it easy? Look, back here, you can see our RSI was at 15. Right here, where it was at 12 right here. It wasn't that long ago. We're at a 31. This thing can still go lower. Volume seems like it's picking up. Like, there is actually bigger volumes. We're now getting over the 50-day average way more than we were. Just like, more people are coming here, but unfortunately more people are selling. This is ready to lose 20%, then lose another 20%, then lose another 20%, until for no reason at all the hand of God decides to bring it down. Or hey, maybe we'll go away from the 8 then come back to the 8. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you, I'm just expecting it to go back away. This is not where you want your... I'm not here to tell you when to to buy, when to sell. I'm not here to spread fear. You know that, right? I'm just a guy giving opinions based on colorful lines. It's not a good place to have yourself under all the moving averages, going deeper and deeper into all-time lows with an RSI that not that long ago, look at this right here, was an 8.8. There's still a lot lower this thing can go, all right? Volume, you can even see it is picking up. That white line's going up. It's because way more people are selling. The selling isn't over yet. It looks like the selling is just beginning, all right? Fisker, way more to not like. And let's just end it with this, actually, because I'm not going to go in the weekly. We don't need to look at the weekly. NASDAQ had a monster day today. Look, NASDAQ's been going up for a minute, all right? FSR has been going horizontal during it, better than I thought. I thought it was going to be going down, but nonetheless, all right? You can try, I don't believe it's correct. You can try to make an argument that this thing's just been going down because of NASDAQ. Today was a ridiculously strong day. Today should have seen some sort of something. All it did was go deeper into all-time lows and start the acceleration into all-time lows instead, right? So way more to not like than like here. Let me know your thoughts. Otherwise, let's come into AQST, all right? There's a lot to like here. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel and share the video, that would be much appreciated, all right? There's a lot to like here, all right? The first, I don't even know what the first thing is. There's so much, like red, green. One of my favorite rhymes, and it's an easy thing to see here. You can even see it a little bit past green, red, green, horizontal, pretty much this entire thing in that bay. Like, this is what a beautiful parabolic stock looks like, right? Hopefully you're on the right side of both of it, all right? Where's this 256? Okay, because I've been watching this, all right? I've made these lines not on a video, I think, and it looks like the answer is right here. The February date is where this line came from, and then you can see it. It was basically this little other parabolic moment, right? I don't know what else to call it, but we have two lines tight to each other. We've seen this line stop us once, twice. Are we going to break it this third time? It kind of seems like yes, actually. You know, I like that our MACD is picking up in the positive. Our RSI is a little high, and I'll come back to this, but I do like this volume right there. That's a real nice consistent. It's a good consistent with those two, and it's actually a good consistent with those two. You can even say it's a good consistent with those three. So I really do like the volume coming down here, all right? Next thing I want to do is just see how, ooh, that's not too bad. How high were you? Oh, you were only in the 89s, so 79.80. How high were you? 82.80. Okay. I think what's going to happen is we might be able to slip a little bit higher than 260. I think this 270 line might slow us down a little bit, because again, I'm not seeing an RSI that knows how. Okay, this RSI was 88. That one was 88. Yeah, and the rest are 80s. There's not too many that high. 86 right here, and that was April, May. I'm going to stick with my thoughts. I think we're going to go up to 270. I think at 270, we're going to reset a little bit. And reset does not mean like hard come down at all. I think we're going to go 270, back to 260, maybe 255. What are you right there? 244, I think it's a little too low. Yeah, I think we go 270, back to around 250, and then hopefully accelerate and go. Look, that's a big 290 line right there. Break 290, and man, it might be a fast run to 370, right? This thing knows how to bring volume, all right? Like, there's some interesting things for sure going on, and you know I love it above all and fly, right? And we just tried, we just reset, we're now trying again. I think we're going to do the same thing on that. We're going to try, we're going to come down, we're going to go, all right? This thing did just make a good little run, and at this point, you can almost even say we're using that 200 like a champ. Now, it wasn't a single hit and go, but yeah, we maintained the 200 as it keeps going up. We're seeing hopefully the 8 and 20 go back up, the 50 go back up. That'll drag these two later ones together, and again, I'm liking the volume story here. There was only one horrible day of selling. Not a, like more people bought on that up ramp than this selling right here. And I think that's what's making it a little easier to accept. I like this. I do. I really like the daily setup. Man, look at this thing. This thing's basically marching to 319, 316. You can see the purple 200 is the actual number. Oof, man, the weekly's been high. The weekly's been at 91. Damn, this thing is actually maybe even saying we might go all the way up to 290, then come back down to 270, then go. Weekly, I think, is showing a lot more strength. I'm liking this daily already. I think this is a solid one right here. Keep this one on your radar. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, hey, you know it. Thank you. Thank you.